Alright, I was going to just do this video yesterday, but I kind of scrapped it because I was like, I don't know if people are going to care about this video or this video is going to do very well. But since there's really no topics that I feel like talking about, I'm just going to talk about something that randomly popped in my head earlier yesterday morning and just kind of talk about it. And also talk about some other games that I think could potentially get the same treatment in the future if the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection does well. And no, it's not another Mortal Kombat Collection, nothing like that, because that's obvious. If Kombat Collection 1 or theoretically Collection 1 does well, they're probably gonna do like a Volume 2 or something with like the 3D era games like Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, and maybe Shaolin Monks. But other than that, I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about other games that I think kind of fall into that same vein of like a legacy collection type thing, but on their own, I don't think they can really get re-released in any capacity, but maybe together in some like weird like fighting game collection type deal, like kind of like with the Capcom fighting collections that are out there, but more of like Midway's back catalog of like older, well, I should say Midway's slash Atari, Atari's back catalog, because like Atari's helping like publish the game, I think, or something, the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, because it's, I mean, you pre-order on their website, so I assume they're like publishing it or something like that, or maybe distributing it. They have like distribution rights or something. I have no idea how that works, or if they're like actually like producing it or whatever. But that made me think. I was like, well, wait a minute. If Atari's helping with Mortal Kombat, why are they going into their catalog of games they own? Because they own some fighting games, and I'm not sure if they own one of the ones I'm thinking of, but I would imagine they do. I'm pretty sure they own the two main ones I'm going to talk about, and possibly the third one. But I know one for sure, and I'm pretty sure they own the second one. But the three games I'm thinking of off the top of my head are Primal Rage, and by extension, Primal Rage 2, I guess, if they can get the rights to do that, or the license to do that, I guess. Because that game was never technically finished, but it was put out there by the community because it was found and dumped. So it is out there to play, and Galloping Ghost Arcade does have a playable arcade cabinet of Primal Rage 2, so that is kind of cool. But so that does exist. So that is a vague possibility, but I would imagine if they're going to do anything with Primal Rage, they would just put the most recent revision of the arcade version on there, which would be nice because we've never gotten an arcade perfect version of Primal Rage. The PlayStation version, not even close. Saturn version, not even close, from what I've heard. To me, those seemed like the closest that they've ever gotten to being arcade perfect, but they're still not perfect. And I've played the arcade version a couple times, but never. Well, I don't know what version. I never really paid attention to that, but I played it a couple times, and one of the reasons why I wanted Primal Rage to be in this hypothetical collection that could and should, in my opinion, happen is because I have a lot of nostalgia for that game. I played it when I was real little with my uncle at a local arcade that we used to have, and I just have a lot of nostalgia for it. So that's why I think it deserves to be replayed. Now the problem with the game is how the moves work and how the game plays and just the mechanics and overall all that stuff. It's kind of wonky, like how moves are performed and stuff. It's very weird and unconventional in like today's fighting game landscape, I guess. But I feel like people could like adjust to it. But there are still some things they could make better, like one button moves, one button finishers, one button special moves, and stuff like that. So there are like quality of life improvements they could theoretically do if they decide to do Primal Rage and by extension Primal Rage 2. But like I said, that probably wouldn't even happen because um it's not like officially ever released. It was a prototype that basically got found out in the wild by somebody and then got bought and dumped and preserved, and now it's at the Galva Ghost Arcade, like I said earlier. So that's game number one. Game number two, I think, would be another good one, is Mace the Dark Age. And that was technically an N64 exclusive. I said technically because it was supposed to have a PlayStation version. And I do have proof of that because there are strategy guides for it that say and covers the PlayStation version on it. So obviously that strategy guide got printed or produced before they got the official word that it got canned. Now, as far as I know, there's no like beta footage or like prototype footage of a PlayStation version. So I don't think it got very far in the development stage for PlayStation, but I would imagine the PlayStation version would have played way much closer, way more closer to the arcade version than the N64 could ever get to. And I'm not liking the N64 version, like it's still a fairly solid game. I'm not saying like Mace the Dark Age is like one of the best fighting games. It's not. It's very mediocre, but I still do think it is a very interesting game and a game that I think people could get some enjoyment out of because the cast of characters is fairly interesting. I mean, hell, you can play as Pojo from the Gauntlet Legends series, or I should say Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Basically, the Gauntlet games. I don't know if Pojo's from that or from Mace, and it was a crossover with Mace to Gauntlet, but it was Gauntlet and Mace were made by Midway, so that's kind of why. But I think Atari made the arcade version. Let me check on that real quick. I was right. It is Atari. They published and developed it. I think is what the wiki said. Yeah, they were developers and publishers, and so was Midway. So it was like a joint effort between Atari and Midway. So yes, I was correct. That's probably why Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is getting so much like money behind it too. It's kind of from Atari and WB as well. But that's why I think Digital Eclipse has so much manpower behind it because they're also getting people from Atari probably to help. Because if what was said can be believed about this only being like a 7-month project so far, that's a lot of that's not a lot of time, but they've done a lot of good work with getting Mortal Kombat Trilogy functioning with a functional PlayStation emulator. I mean, that's impressive in 7 months. If that can be believed. I don't, like I said, that's not confirmed or anything, but like they obviously have a lot of manpower behind them at Digital Eclipse and possibly Atari. I'm not saying they do, but it would make sense that they have like more people than just Digital Eclipse helping them get this out the door and to us possibly by the end of September if you're a digital purchaser of it. So yeah, I think Mace would be a really cool game to have because it's got like executions, it's got special moves. It's nothing crazy. I I want to say I played the arcade version somewhere a few years back, or maybe it was War Gods. It was one of them. It was either War Gods or Mace. I played. I think it was Mace though. I know I played Killer Instinct 1 and Killer Instinct 2 arcade before, but I'm pretty sure I played Maze 2 somewhere. But I have played Maze emulated arcade, and it is way better than the N64 version. But do I think that game has the possibility of being in this like Atari fighting collection game or whatever they would call it? I mean, yeah, like, because I think it's a classic game of the like mid to late '90s. Because I remember we rented that game a lot before we bought it. Like, we at least rented it like 2 or 3 times before we bought it. Um, so yeah, and now I don't even have the copy of it anymore. I traded it for other stuff. I forget what it was. I think it was the Japanese dot hack box set that my friend had at their store that they were like very adamant about not trading for, but I was like, fine, I'll bring in some good stuff for trade if you trade it to me. So I'll probably just get a box copy at some point. It was that like Mortal Kombat trilogy. I didn't play them that much anyway, so it's not a huge deal. And plus, I already ripped them, so like I technically have backups of them. So whatever, it is what it is. But I've had the game for years, and I've played the game for years. It's one of my favorite games to play on the N64. Like Shalon and who was the other guy that I liked? Executioner was pretty cool. Um, Al Rashid, he was really good. I got really good, like stupid good with that dude. He had some cheap ass moves in that game. But that game was really fun. I really enjoyed that game a lot. And the last game I want to mention is, of course, I already mentioned it, War Guys. Now, a lot of people, including Maximilian Dude, shit on this game a lot, and I don't get why. Like, yeah, it's not a great game, and neither is Maze, but like, it's not terrible. Like, the concept is kind of stupid, but like, the overall gameplay is like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like clunky, chunky feeling. Like, it's just really slow and kind of like, it's real. It feels real chunky when you play the game. Like you feel real weighted. Like your character feels like it's weighted or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but I really enjoy this game. Like it's sitting right here. That's why I put it on the list because I have the N64 version box. I also have the PlayStation version as well. The PlayStation version is probably the best version. I do have the PC version. I just can't figure out how to run the damn thing on modern like Windows. I don't know if it's possible. Someone knows how to run freaking War Gods PC. Let me know. I have the original disc and everything. So if anyone knows how to run that, let me know. I would love to like play the PC version. That one's probably the closest to the arcade. It's probably still not exactly accurate, but the PlayStation and the PC version are probably the closest to the original arcade. And I know I never played the arcade version of War Gods. I'm almost positive I played Mace at like a mall a few years back when my wife and I were out somewhere. I think one of the stores had Mace for some reason. I'm almost positive. I could be remembering wrong. I don't know. I've done so much stuff over the damn years. It's hard to keep track of all the places I've gone and done stuff at. So like, I don't know. Maybe it's a a false fragmented memory I'm having. I don't know. But yeah, like War Gods, it's not the greatest game ever, but I really do think it would be cool to see it like brought up and actually play the original arcade version, like the way it was meant to be played, and like because I've never experienced it. I know you can emulate it, like it's emulatable, but that's to me like doing it on a computer would probably be better. But like when a company like actually does an official emulation port or working on something like that uses emulation, usually they're trying to like make it the best it can be before they shove it in there in a game or whatever. And that's what Digital Eclipse is doing with like Mortal Kombat Trilogy and MK4. MK4 especially, with that being the first time the arcade version has ever been like publicly available to play on like actual home consoles. Because before we just got ports of stuff. I'm talking about doing like actual arcade near perfect versions of these, like the Legacy Collection, for these 3 games. That's what I would love. Is it realistic though? Probably not, because no one really likes these games. Like I know there's been jokes about like MK1 when it was like having guest characters that they would include people from like War Gods or like Mace. Because people, like I said, people shit on those games. And I'm like, actually, if they put a War Gods character in like Voodoo or Warhead or something, I would find that pretty fucking cool, to be honest with you. Because like, I feel like if those games did better and like they weren't just like throwaway projects that Midway put out, because that's what it feels like. It feels like with, especially War Gods, it felt like that was just like an idea they had floating around in the studio or something, and it just didn't pan out the way they thought it was going to. I really enjoyed War Gods and Mace the Dark Age. Primal Rage, I think, is the most likely thing to get some kind of like treatment, kind of digital re-release or something like that. But do I think it's likely? No, just because no one really talks about Primal Rage or War Gods or Mace anymore. Like I'm probably the only idiot on the internet right now that it pops in their head like, oh shit, maybe they could do Primal Rage, War Gods, and Mace the Dark Age. I don't know. I just think it'd be really cool if they did it. I don't know. I just want to do a video talking about it because I think it'd be really neat. I know my brother would really enjoy having War Gods and Mace. He was never a big fan of Primal Rage, but like I would love a arcade perfect version of Primal Rage that had like online. I mean, I'm sure there's like broken ass tech in that game and shit that I don't know about, but like it would still be fun to just play it online, I think. And like I said, we've never had like an arcade perfect port of either of those games, so that would be really cool. And maybe they'll have like the PlayStation version of Primal Rage or the Super Nintendo version of Primal Rage. Like there's multiple versions, 3DO. There's an Atari Jaguar CD, 32X. Like there's a ton of versions they could put on there too. Like they could pad out the game for sure. But the problem is these games slash franchises, in the case of Primal Rage 1 and 2, I guess of 2, if you count that as a game, because it technically is not. Technically, like, no one, like, there's no real, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's no reason for them to, like, just go in the back catalog and be like, hey, let's do Primal Rage, let's do Mace. and be like, let's put it out. Like, no one's been clamoring for that. No one's been wanting it. But I'm telling you what, if I worked in that industry and worked at like Digital Eclipse or Atari or something, I'd be like in the boardroom, be like, hey guys, let's give Mace the Dark Age and Primal Rage some love. And then I'll be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why? Like, I don't know. I just have a lot of nostalgia for those games, man. I just want to talk about it today. I know this video is probably not going to do well, but you know what? I just want to talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. This has been Rolling with Kevin, and I'm rolling out. Peace. Don't judge me for liking War Gods, man. I know there's going to be people like, oh, you like garbage games, man. Don't judge me. Play the games before you judge me. And don't listen to Max Melee, dude. He says the game sucks. He's wrong. It doesn't suck. It's not good, but it's not bad. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Thank you all for watching this video. If you did like it, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell button for all notifications so you get notified if I go live, post a video, post on my community page, or anything like that if YouTube does notify you. Sometimes it doesn't always do it, but hopefully it does for you guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting me on Patreon. Shoutouts go to my patrons, Sonny Silva, Catfish Cat, Lee Fernay, Team Dale, Elliot Scott, Mac and Dude, Preliab, Harry Fernandez, William Scott, AJ Gottawa, Oliver Frederick, Lynn Ernhorn, Marcus Malahi, Brianna, Nuclear Reactive Man, Rebecca H., Just Good Enough, Gorgon Koluskovic, Justin M. Daggins, Daniel Childs, Patrick Oliver, and Harold Huckabee. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. If you do want to support the channel, it's only $1 a month. That's all I ask. It really does help out the channel a lot to keep this going. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And this has been Rolling with Kevin, and I am rolling out.